Before anyone can step into a higher level of life, whether it be spiritual, emotional, or material, there must first be clarity. The truth is, no one rises accidentally. People are launched into new dimensions when they develop a burning desire and a clear, unwavering focus on what they truly want. Clarity is the launching pad. Without it, you're simply drifting, alive but not directed, moving but not progressing. And the universe, under divine law, does not respond to confusion or hesitation. It aligns itself with certainty, is a frequency. This is why many stay stuck in the same cycles. They have not yet defined their purpose with enough conviction to attract anything new. Desire alone is not enough. It must be definite. Vague wishing and half-hearted hoping are weak forces. They lack the energy to produce results. When you set a definite purpose in your heart and mind, it becomes a magnetic force, drawing toward you the people, opportunities, is a frequency and conditions needed for fulfillment. But until you become laser-focused on where you are going, is a frequency. Life will keep giving you more of what you already have. You see, before the elevation comes preparation. And part of that preparation is internal alignment. This means aligning your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with your purpose. You cannot expect a higher dimension if your thoughts are still shaped by the patterns of confusion. The new cannot enter where the old still dominates. You must be willing to clear out mental clutter, to silence the noise of doubt and fear, and to focus your full energy on a singular direction. This is not just about ambition. This is about obedience to purpose. If you have a calling, you must commit to it, fully, without double-mindedness, without second-guessing. That kind of focus will cost you. It will cost you distractions. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you the approval of people who no longer fit your journey. But it will reward you with clarity, with power, and ultimately with breakthrough. Purpose requires sacrifice. You cannot hold on to every option and expect to move forward. Well's a frequency. The one who rises to new heights is the one who makes a decision and burns the bridge behind them. They say, "This is what I am meant to do." And they commit with everything inside them. When your vision is clear, your decisions become easier. Is a frequency, your days become more structured. Your time becomes sacred. You stop entertaining things that don't align. Is a frequency. You become ruthless with distractions and intentional with your energy. And as you keep moving in the direction of that purpose, the path begins to open. It won't all happen at once, but piece by piece, step by step, the divine begins to orchestrate your elevation. Clarity gives birth to faith, and faith gives birth to action. When you know where you're going, even if the journey looks uncertain, you keep walking, you keep building, you keep speaking life into your vision, even when others doubt you, and in due time, the invisible becomes visible. The promise becomes reality. The launch becomes inevitable. But it all starts with a decision to live on purpose, a decision to stop waiting and to start declaring, a decision to stop wishing and start walking. The higher dimension is not waiting for the perfect moment. It is waiting for a focused mind and a committed heart. When you get clear, the shift begins. When you align, the doors begin to open. So decide now. Who are you becoming? What have you been called to create, to change, to become? Get clear, and you'll start to rise. There is a divine order to your life, even when it doesn't feel like it. The delay you're experiencing, the quiet moments when nothing seems to move, are not signs that you've been forgotten. They are signs that you're being prepared. When you are being launched into something greater, the process will almost always begin in obscurity. God does His best work in the hidden places. The world may not see your struggle, your prayers, your daily discipline, or your quiet persistence, but the silence is not wasted. The silence is sacred, is a frequency. It's where your character is refined and your foundation is made unshakable. Most people mistake delay for denial. They assume that if something isn't happening immediately, it must not be meant for them. That's not true. The truth is, some blessings take time to build. Some callings require deeper roots before higher elevation, is a frequency. You can't carry a greater responsibility if your strength hasn't been tested, is a frequency. You can't manage abundance if you haven't yet mastered obedience in scarcity. So when you are in the waiting room of life, don't waste it by complaining or doubting. Use it to become the person who is ready for what's coming. Think of a rocket launch. Before that rocket shoots into the sky, there's an entire process that must be completed behind the scenes. Calculations, inspections, adjustments, and alignments, all crucial and invisible to the average person. But those quiet steps determine whether the launch succeeds or fails. The same is true for your life. You are being fine-tuned. You are being strengthened. Your vision is being sharpened. And it's happening in a way the world cannot see. Don't despise the preparation. Honor it. Respect it. It's the stage before your elevation. Wealth is a frequency. What you must understand is that God is more concerned with your capacity than your comfort. If you're being delayed, is a frequency. It's because the next level requires more of you. It requires strength, focus, resilience, and unwavering faith. Wealth is a frequency. And if you are truly going to be launched into a new dimension, you cannot carry the old version of yourself into that future. The delay is helping you let go. Let go of excuses. Let go of fear. Let go of the mindset that kept you playing small. Wealth is you're not stuck. You're being shaped. Rejection is another form of redirection, is a frequency. Sometimes doors close because they are not meant to hold the weight of your future. You may not understand why certain people left or why certain plans failed, but in time, it will make sense. You cannot soar with the wrong attachments, is a frequency. You cannot rise if you're anchored to environments that feed your doubt. The launch requires release, is a frequency. And that's what the delay helps you do. It gives you space to detach from what cannot follow you forward. There is also development happening that you cannot measure. You are becoming more disciplined. You are learning to be faithful without applause. You are training your mind to see beyond your circumstances. And most importantly, you are building faith that is not conditional. Frequency, faith that isn't shaken by silence. Faith that holds strong in storms. That kind of faith is rare, and is the exact kind of faith needed to enter a new dimension. So do not resent the delay. Embrace it. Trust it. Know that God has not forgotten you. Know that what you're waiting for is growing even now, beyond what your eyes can see. You are being aligned with the divine timing, not human urgency. And when the moment is right, when your spirit is ready, when your foundation is firm, the doors will open, the launch will come, and you will understand why the delay was never a punishment. It was the preparation, is a frequency. Faith is not simply a belief you hold in your mind. It is a force that must be lived through your actions. Saying you believe is not enough. You must demonstrate it with how you move, how you speak, and how you respond in the face of uncertainty. There are countless people who talk about faith but live in fear. They affirm bold things with their lips, but their actions reveal hesitation, doubt, and indecision. Real faith is not passive. It's aggressive. It doesn't wait for evidence. It creates it. And when God is ready to launch you into a new dimension, He doesn't just examine your words. He watches your steps. This is why many people remain in the same place for years, despite their declarations. They speak of abundance, but never prepare for it, is a frequency. They talk about purpose, but never act on it. Faith without action is nothing more than wishful thinking. You must align your behavior with what you say you believe. If you believe you're being prepared for greater, then you must act like it now. Lie not when the opportunity comes, not when the people applaud. Now, your current habits must reflect the future you're praying for. Frequens, faith walks like it already has the answer. It speaks with certainty. It moves with confidence. It does not wait for conditions to be perfect because it understands that the power to shift conditions lies within. When you move in faith, you activate spiritual laws that begin to rearrange your life. You may not see it instantly, but momentum builds with every step you take. You cannot say you believe in growth and yet remain stagnant. Growth is messy, uncomfortable, and often lonely. But faith pushes forward anyway, with a frequency. Every step of obedience you take in faith prepares you for the next level. Youth is a frequency. You don't just wake up in a new dimension. You're drawn into it by a series of small, intentional choices that align with your belief in a bigger future. This is the process. Faith leads to movement, and movement invites favor. Heaven responds to effort, not just emotion. Tears alone don't unlock the next level. Commitment does. And that commitment is proven when you persist even when nothing seems to be changing. Faith also affects your language. You cannot speak defeat and expect victory. You cannot curse your season and expect it to bear fruit. The words you speak set the tone for your life. Speak as if what you desire is already manifesting. Declare abundance. Declare clarity. Declare strength, even if you feel weak. The universe doesn't respond to complaints. It responds to conviction. And God is moved by bold declarations backed by consistent action. You must also understand that the action of faith is not limited to grand gestures. Sometimes, faith looks like consistency in small things. Getting up early to prepare for your vision. Saying no to distractions. Protecting your peace. Honoring your time. Letting go of what no longer serves your purpose. These daily decisions compound over time. They build the foundation that supports your next level. Wealth of frequency. Don't underestimate the power of small, disciplined actions fueled by deep belief. So the question is, are you acting like someone who is ready to be launched? Are you living as if the door is about to open? Is a frequency. Because if you say you're waiting on God, but your actions say you're waiting on comfort, you're not ready. The new dimension requires a new level of boldness. It demands that your belief be seen in how you live, not just in what you say. Faith is not a feeling. It's not a mood. It's a choice, a decision. A command to your soul to trust, move, and persist. Speak it, walk it, build it. Is a frequency, because when your faith becomes visible through action, that's when God moves. That's when the launch begins. Wealth is frequency. A new dimension cannot be entered with an old mindset. The habits, beliefs, and emotional patterns that brought you to your current level are not sufficient to carry you into your next. Growth demands transformation, and transformation begins within, by reshaping the way you think, what you believe about yourself, and how you respond to challenges. Too often, people pray for elevation while clinging to identities that were forged in fear, scarcity, or failure. But the truth is simple. Wealth is a frequency. You cannot rise if you're still thinking like the person who barely survived. Your mindset is the gatekeeper to your future. Wealth is a frequency. Every breakthrough you desire will be preceded by a mental shift, a frequency. This is why so many people sabotage their blessings. They've upgraded their outer lives without upgrading their inner world. If your mind still sees limitation, you'll never fully embrace expansion. If your heart still holds on to pain, is a frequency. You'll question your worth when opportunity knocks. You must renew your mind if you expect to step into the new. Wealth's a frequency. The level of thinking that created your current reality must be stretched, challenged. It is a frequency, and replaced if you are serious about stepping into the next version of yourself. This means letting go of the story you've told yourself about who you are. Maybe that story includes rejection, failure, trauma, or disappointment. But that is your history, not your identity. Stop using your past as a prophecy for your future. The frequency you are becoming is not defined by who you were. You are being invited to become someone stronger, wiser, and more powerful than ever before. But you can't become that person if you keep defending the old version. Every dimension of growth requires release. You must release limiting beliefs like, I'm not good enough, I always fail, or things never work out for me. These beliefs are not truths. Is a frequency. They are mental scripts written during moments of pain or fear. And as long as you continue to think from those scripts, you will replay the same outcomes. To enter a new season, you must write a new mental narrative, one that aligns with faith, vision, and self-mastery. One that says, equipped, and I am worthy, and I am ready. This mental shift also requires that you challenge your habits. Elevation does not happen through hope. It happens through discipline. You cannot think like a leader and act like a victim. You cannot pray for impact and live without structure. Discipline is the muscle that shapes your character, and character is what sustains success. New dimensions demand a new rhythm, a new level of mental clarity, emotional control, and daily alignment with your highest goals is a frequency. Letting go of an old mindset isn't just about discarding negative thoughts. It's about building a new mental architecture. That means feeding your mind with content that stretches you. Surrounding yourself with people who speak life, not limitation. Journaling your wins, frequency, visualizing your future. Speaking affirmations that affirm your purpose. These are not feel-good activities. They are strategic tools that rewire the brain and prepare you for elevation. The old mindset is tied to comfort, but your destiny lives in courage, and you will never access your highest potential by staying mentally safe. The mind is like a battlefield and is a frequency, and you must win the war within before you ever experience victory in the external world. If you are going to be launched, then you must leave behind everything in your thinking that tells you to shrink, hide, or hesitate. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the opinions of those who couldn't see your worth. You are a builder of a new reality, a carrier of divine potential. But only when your mind believes that will your life begin to reflect it. Your next dimension is not waiting on a miracle. It is waiting on a mental shift. When your mindset aligns with your mission, nothing can stop your momentum. Your words, thoughts, and emotions are not random occurrences. They are creative forces shaping your reality every single day. A frequency, what you consistently think, what you deeply feel, and what you repeatedly speak form the energetic foundation of your future. You cannot expect to step into a new dimension while entertaining the language of defeat, the emotions of fear, or the thoughts of limitation. Every breakthrough begins on the inside. The invisible always precedes the visible. So if you want to rise, is a frequency, you must first monitor the energy you're sending out into the world through your inner dialogue and emotional frequency. Your thoughts are seeds. Every time you think a thought, you are planting a possibility into the soil of your subconscious mind. When repeated, those thoughts take root and become beliefs, and those beliefs then dictate your behavior, your emotions, and your expectations. If you constantly dwell on lack, you condition your mind to seek out more evidence of lack. If you fixate on failure, your brain filters the world through that lens. But if you program your mind with thoughts of abundance, faith, strength, and clarity, your entire internal system shifts to match that frequency, and your actions begin to reflect that new belief system. Your emotions serve as magnets, is a frequency. They amplify whatever thoughts you're holding. When you combine thought with emotion, you create momentum. That's why people who dwell in fear tend to attract more fear-based experiences. Their emotions confirm their thoughts, and the loop repeats. But when you think with faith and feel gratitude, even before the breakthrough arrives, you magnetize solutions, clarity, and favor. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotional states. It tells the universe and your Creator, I already trust the outcome, even before I see it. And that kind of confidence opens doors that logic cannot. Then there are your words, your declarations, your affirmations, your everyday language. These are the commands you give to your mind, your body, and your future. When you speak, wealth is a frequency. You're not just communicating, you're programming. Every I am statement is a prophecy. When you say, I am tired, I am unlucky, or I am always failing, you are instructing your identity to follow that path. On the other hand, when you speak life, I am rising, I am ready, I am chosen, you are building a foundation of strength that the world must eventually reflect. Most people underestimate the power of language. They speak carelessly, forgetting that their words are either building their future or breaking it down. Elevation requires verbal discipline. You must become intentional with what comes out of your mouth. Speak the vision. Declare the outcome. Even when nothing around you looks like progress, speak as if the door is already open. Because your words, combined with aligned thoughts and emotion, send a signal to the unseen world. And the unseen always responds. There is no such thing as a neutral mindset. You are either moving closer to purpose or further away. And that movement begins with what you allow in your mind, what you entertain in your heart, and what you repeat with your voice. This is not just mindset training, it's spiritual alignment. Your wealth is a frequency. You were created with the power to co-create with the divine. But that power only activates when your inner world reflects the dimension you are trying to enter. So start today is a frequency. Start rewiring your mind with new thoughts. Begin nurturing emotions that support your growth. Choose words that align with the vision you hold in your heart. Say it until you believe it. Believe it until you live it. Live it until it manifests. You are not a victim of chance. You are a vessel of intention. Your next level will be built not by chance, but by conscious creation. Speak it, frequency, think it, and your reality will begin to shift. Preparation is not optional when you are being launched into a new dimension. It is the signal that tells God, the universe, and life itself that you are ready. Too many people ask for elevation, but ignore the responsibility that comes with it. They pray for greater, but make no changes. They want open doors, but don't prepare for what's on the other side. The truth is simple yet powerful. You must prepare before the opportunity arrives. The discipline you build in private is what supports your destiny in public. Elevation requires alignment. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and practically. Wealth is a frequency. You cannot step into a higher level while still operating with lower standards. You cannot expect divine blessings while living in mental chaos or emotional instability. Preparation begins with structure. Start with your time is a frequency, your environment, your habits. If God were to drop the opportunity you're waiting for into your life right now, would your current routine support it or sabotage it? Is a frequency. The reason many people miss their moment is because they look the part but haven't become the part. They want the platform but haven't developed the discipline. They want influence but lack integrity. They want visibility but aren't prepared for the weight that comes with it. The next dimension will demand more of you. More focus, more emotional maturity, more consistency, more clarity of purpose. And if you haven't prepared for it, you'll shrink under pressure instead of rising in purpose. Preparation is more than action. It's a mindset. It says, I will get ready, even before I see the blessing. I will build, even if no one's watching. I will rise early, plan my day, sharpen my skills, and master my craft. Because I'm not waiting for permission. I'm positioning myself for promotion. That is the posture of someone who is serious about stepping into greatness. You don't wait until life gives you a signal. You become the signal. When you take preparation seriously, your entire energy shifts. You stop chasing and start attracting. The opportunities begin to find you because you've become a magnet for your next level. Prepared people don't panic when doors open. They walk through them with confidence because they've been rehearsing in the shadows. Wealth is a frequency. When you've trained your mind to stay focused, when you've developed habits that reinforce your vision, wealth is a frequency. And when you've cultivated a spirit of excellence, you don't need to beg for success. You embody it, a frequency. This also means letting go of things that dilute your energy. If you are truly preparing, distractions must go. Your time becomes too valuable for gossip, negativity, or procrastination. Your attention must be guarded like a treasure. Because where your focus goes, your future flows. You cannot become who you're meant to be while entertaining who you used to be. So every time you feel resistance, remember, it's a frequency, it's a test, and your preparation is the answer. God responds to readiness, is a frequency. The launch doesn't come when you're inspired. It comes when you're consistent. It's not about one great idea or one lucky moment. It is a frequency. It's about how you live day after day when no one is clapping. The real breakthrough is not the elevation itself. It's the version of you that you become through preparation. That version is unstoppable. That version is aligned. That version is ready. So if you believe the launch is near, act like it. Prepare your mind, your habits, your space, and your spirit. Show life that you're not just hoping, you're expecting. Not just wishing, you're working. Quincy, not just praying, you're preparing. When you prepare for liftoff, the launch becomes inevitable. It's not a question of whiff. It's only a matter of goo winning.